And Kuwabara's like, Yusuke, you punched her in the boob. And he's like, I mean, what does it matter where I punch? Is like certain things you shouldn't do. I don't know why you're acting like this way, Yusuke. I mean, what would Kiko think? Kiko would be very disappointed. He's like, don't tell Kiko what I've been doing, okay? And whose boobs I've been groping or punching. And Miyuki's like, I'm still here. And she attacks Yusuke, and he just grabs her and just throws her into the wall, and she just goes fucking right through it, Chad, and seems like concussed and knocked out at that point. But you know what we can do right now? We can go ahead and get into my review, chat. My scene by scene breakdown, chat, to Yu Yu Hakusho episode 24, or Steve Haru Show episode 24, chat. Please play tribute to Steve Haru Show. He's looking fucking great with him and the boys. He's got his boys right there, chat. He's looking good. He's looking very good. He's rocking that outfit, chat. But we got to review this episode. We are coming to the end of this particular season, chat. I don't know if this is the penultimate episode or the next one might be, but we're getting very, very close at this point. And it has me excited because we got the Torugo brothers, chat. We got some new villains on the horizon. You know, Kuwabara, his horniness is leading him to the love of his life. We'll see. But we'll see what happens, chat. But for right now, you know, Yusuke and the gang, Yusuke and Kuwabara and Botan, they got to go up against the demon triad, chat, of Thick Thigh, Miyuki. You got the little goblin boy, and you have Goku, the giant orange troll. They got to fight them, chat. And that's, in case you need a recap, you know, they're trying to save little Vegeta's sister, chat, who's been taken by Mr. Spuds, right? This Japanese gangster. Actually, I don't know if he's Japanese. I'm not sure. He looks like a potato. And they got to fight through all these demon henchmen, chat. And they finally enter the compound. They're in the compound right now. And they're confronted with the first member of the demon triad, chat, which is Thick Thigh Mommy Miyuki. But she is not all she seems to be. But that's how the episode starts, as you know. She confronts them in the hallway, and she's like, how you doing, boys and girls? I'm gonna fight you. And Kuwabara's like, I can't do this. And Yusuke's like, why? What are you talking about? I thought you have the pink red string of truth that's guiding you towards your beloved Elsa. And he's like, Yusuke, I can't punch a girl. That's not right. That's like really, really rude. I mean, I could punch a guy or like demons or something, but I can't be punching girls. And Yusuke's like, I don't care. All right, we got to fight her. I don't give it. He's like, you punch girls, Yusuke? Oh, that's wrong, man. You got issues. We got to talk about this. And Botan's like, guys, can we just, you know, get to fucking Elsa? And meanwhile, Thick Thigh Miyuki's like, I'm right here. Stop talking about me like I'm not in the room. And Yusuke's like, all right, you dumb broad, I'm coming. And so, boom, chat, fucking Yusuke, he jumps into the air, and then Miyuki, she jumps into the air, and then they cross paths. We see this flashing light. Yusuke, he lands on the ground, and Miyuki, she lands on the ground. But for whatever reason, she's like, how dare you? And Yusuke's like, and he's laughing to himself. And Kuwabara and Botan are like, what did he do? She's like, I don't know. What, Yusuke, what did you do? And Miyuki is just irate. She's like, some warrior you are, feeling me up. And then it dawns on them. So we cut check Kuwabara and fucking Botan. It's like loading. Holy shit, they put it together. And we do a flashback to when Yusuke and Thick Thigh Mama Miyuki jump in the air, chat. And we see Yusuke just straight up grab her breasts. Just wah, honk, honk, honk. Just grabs her breast, chat, in midair and goes, ugh. And Kuwabara's like, Kuwabara's a good man. Kuwabara's a good man most of the time. But he's like, Yusuke, you can't just grab a woman's tatas like that. You need to ask permission first. And Botan's like, yeah, you should. Come on, man. Come on. I mean, it's like, Jesus Christ. And he's like, oh, get over it. And Miyuki's like, I'm still here. And she wraps her hair around Yusuke, chat, gets him into a chokehold, yeets herself up. She just shoots through the fucking ceiling and then just begins choking the shit out of him. He's like, and he's like, oh, that's not fucking good. We then cut to Mr. Spuds, and he's watching this chat. You just know he just wants to jerk off, but he's got like his, his menagerie, the Black, that's their name, chat. The secret evil organization that Mr. Spuds belongs to, the richest evildoers of the world. The name of the club, not just the Black Club, chat. It's called the Black Club. For whatever reason. I don't know why they say it twice. But, he's like, yeah, I like this broad you got here, Taruga Brothers. Oh, she's real good. And the Taruga Brothers don't really say anything. You're like, why aren't they saying anything, chat? And then we cut back to Yusuke, who's like, and he just eventually said, all right, I've had enough. And he just starts swinging with her hair, chat, and he comes up from underneath her and just lands right there and just punches her in the boob. Bam! She's like, my boob! I'm not, by the way. Now, I exaggerate during these reviews, chat. I have not exaggerated once in this review. He just aims right at her boob and goes, bah! And that thing jiggles and things. It's like, what the fuck? And they both fall through the ceiling at this point. And Kuwabara is like, Yusuke, you punched her in the boob. And he's like, what does it matter where I punch? Is like, certain things you shouldn't do. I don't know why you're acting like this way, Yusuke. What would Kiko think? Kiko would be very disappointed. He's like, don't tell Kiko what I've been doing, okay? And whose boobs I've been groping or punching. And Miyuki's like, I'm still here. And she attacks Yusuke, and he just grabs her and just throws her into the wall, and she just goes fucking right through it, Chad, and seems like concussed and knocked out at that point. Botan and Kuwabara are like, well, you took care of it, Yusuke, but still, that wasn't very appropriate. And what you did to that girl. And then we get to the part of the episode which threw me for a fucking loop. I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, that's not a girl. And they're like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, no, that's a man. And they're like, excuse me? And he's like, yeah. And we get an additional flashback, chat, when they're jumping in the air, and he explains, when I groped her boobs, they felt a little weird for me. They didn't feel real. And so I just did the natural thing any 14-year-old boy would do. I went for her fucking vagina. I am not joking, chat. We see him grab this woman's vagina, chat, and he's like, oh yeah, and I realized she doesn't have a vagina, she has a dick. And I'm like, what? She has a penis, and she has balls. And so they drop down, and then they're like, what do you say? What do you mean? And he's like, yeah, and then, Miyuki, she comes too, and she's like, it is like, this is problematic. I have to say, this episode, I'm like, this is very fucking dated. This is not working. And she's like, listen, what does it matter if I have a penis and I have boobs? And they're like, that's really gross and things. You gotta choose one or the other. What do you do? I was like, wow. Yeah, it's a trans character, a character that is going through is transitioning. And fucking the main characters are just making fun of her because of it. And it's like, wow. And then Yusuke's like, shut up. And he punches her, and she doesn't kill her. I think she comes back later, because I was reading about it. I was like, what the fuck? Because after the episode ended, I started reading about this. And they're like, yeah, it's yeah. it is what it is. It is what it is, Chad. And then apparently the character does come back, but it's like, wow. So after that, they just are like, well, that was fucking weird. Still, you shouldn't be grabbing boobs, even if they're not real boobs, Yusuke. It's like, don't tell me what to do, all right? And then Kuwabara, he goes and thinking, oh God, Kuwabara was like, well, the thing is though, Yusuke, she looks like a girl. She looks just like a girl. And when they just go over her whole body, they show off the boobs again, and she has this suit on, or this outfit on, which her thighs are sticking out and very curvy. And he's like, I mean, I should probably check just to make sure. And he is about to lift up her skirt to check to see if she has male genitalia. And then Botan just slaps the back of his head. It's like, you fucking pervert. And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm just curious. Weird. After that, we then cut to Mr. Spuds is like, that fucking broad's a dude. And Mr. Tuberville's like, first of all, you're a very ignorant piece of shit, all right? And he's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't like them when they got every, I prefer, the classic version. He's like, all this dialogue, I'm just like, this is not aging well, chap. But he's also getting nervous. He's also getting nervous, chat. No way won't think you'll leave for the 5 minutes. This is a PSA, consent, privacy, and boring. The more you know. Star wipe, the more you know. Thank you for the 5 pride biddies. Appreciate that. It's fucking wild. Like, I'm like, wow. Anyway, Mr. Spuds is getting nervous, chat, because they defeated the first member of the Demon Triads. Eventually, we also come back to Baby Jesus, who's watching this, chat. He just finished his meal, and he's about to eat his strawberry donut, which he's very excited about, chat. The thing is, the ogre, him and his ogre assistant, the blue ogre guy, which I don't know if he has a name, they decide to make a fucking bet. They decide to make a bet, and the ogre, he's like, I bet you that Yusuke and Kuwabara and Botan will survive this. And fucking Baby Jesus bets against them, which is, like, really shitty. And they bet over the like, more and more, I'm seeing that Baby Jesus, kind of a dick, chat. But they bet over the jelly donut, and whoever wins, whoever defeats the 3 demon triad, they will, or the demon triad, I should say, whoever wins will get the strawberry jelly donut. Yay! Eventually, we cut back to Kuwabara, who is basically still threatening Yusuke about the fact that, he's groping women and vaginas and dick and balls, and he'll tell Kiko. And Yusuke's like, the fuck you will? Absolutely not. And they're like about to start fighting and everything. And then Botan's like, can you two just fucking stop? We're trying to find this girl who's been kidnapped by a potato man. And they're like, all right, fair enough. Eventually, we cut back to little Vegeta, chat. He's outside, and he has an adorable flashback, chat, to Yukina, his half-sister, when she's a little girl, Elsa, and she's straight up Disney princess type stuff. When she's out in the forest, and it's snowing all around her, it's like fresh snowfall, and she's playing with all the foxes and the birds and the bunnies. She's like, yeah, it's fun, it's a good time. But then, the wind starts to pick up, and she's like, okay, guys, the wind's starting to get really blustery, and I can sense that it's gonna snow again. So you guys gotta go somewhere where it's warm and safe. But once the snow's gone and it gets a little warmer, then we can play again. Yeah, and they all run away and they fly. She's like, bye. And then we see a much younger little Vegeta, Hiei, watching, but he's going, ugh, he's like, he doesn't want to engage with her, apparently, even though she sees him. And he remembers this, and he's like, I'm going to get you, Yukina. I'm coming for you. So clearly it shows that little Vegeta, despite acting like a dick most of the time, he clearly has a love for his sister, Chad, and wants to protect her and wants what's best for her. Then we come back to Kuwabara. It's like, my Kuwabara spirit sense is tingling. And then they're like, what? And he pushes Botan and Yusuke out of the way. And then this goblin Wolverine boy shows up, and he's like, ah! And he slashes, like he starts slashing at them, and they're like, whoa! And he disappears. Apparently his power is, other than being a goblin boy and being, part Wolverine, he's like Goblin Wolverine boy. He can move around really fast. And they can't hit him. They don't know where he's coming from. And he slashes, like, Yusuke's back. And he's like, ah! And, like, gets him good. Cuts him deep, chat. But then they're like, oh, shit, we gotta do a retreat. We need to retreat. And they start running down the hallway being pursued by the Wolverine Goblin Boy, chat. I don't know his name. I call him Wolverine Goblin Boy. They start running, and they turn a corner. They turn down a corner like, this way. And then the Goblin Boy says, you can't escape me. And then he turns the corner. And then fucking Yusuke just goes, Kuwabara's like, got you. And Yusuke goes, spirit shotgun, and boom, he shoots him. He shoots him right around the corner, chat. I mean, you should have fucking saw that coming, you son of a bitch. Shoots him, blasted back, chat, by the spirit shotgun. And he's like, how is that possible? And it's like, and Kuwabara explains to him, this is actually some good strategy on their part, chat, where he says, well, we knew we had to get you a new location where you just had to turn no matter what. And I could sense your spirit energy. And so it was obvious what you were going to do. He's like, oh, and then he falls down. I don't know if he's dead, but he seemed really fucked up at this point, chat. He may or may not be dead. Whereas Thick Thigh Miyuki, she's probably, well, she is alive because she comes back in the series. After that, chat, after that wonderful little moment, we then cut back to Baby Jesus, who is like, yeah, he's really excited about, Yusuke and Co. winning. But then the ogre reminds him, it's like, you do know, sir, that you bet against them, and I might win my bet, and I might get the strawberry donut that you have. He's like, I know, and I hate that fact. But then, oh no, chat, as they're continuing on, Kuwabara's spirit senses a tingle, and she's like, Botan, look out! And fucking Goku, the orange ogre, bursts through the fucking wall like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah! And grabs Botan, chat, by her jack, and she's like, oh! And I guess Botan forgot she has superpowers, sure. And the thing is, both Yusuke and Kuwabara, they can't hit the ogre because this guy's a dick. Because, well, I will have to admit, he's playing it smart. He just saw his two compatriots get their asses kicked very quickly, by the way. That's one of the things I like about Yu Yu Hakusho, is at the very least, chat, the very least, they don't spend multiple episodes on like a single fight. They wrap that shit up quick in every episode. Like, the longest one we got was when Yusuke fought Link and Iago. That lasted, 3 episodes? Which is like, I was like, wow, this is the longest one. But here, it's like, they're going through these guys, no problem. But Goku, he grabs Botan, and he's basically like, don't fucking hit me, or you're gonna hit her. And they're like, ugh, and so they're really unwilling to attack. But then Yusuke's like, Botan, just lift your arms up. And she's like, okay, and she lifts her arms up, and she slides out of the jacket, and it's like, oh yeah, because he's just holding on to the jacket, and Goku's like, shit, and then Kuwabara and Yusuke, they just yeet themselves at Goku, and they spirit kick him so hard, it explodes the front of his chest, and he goes, ah! Like, they literally go inside of his chest and goes, puh, and there's a mini explosion that bursts out of him. I'm pretty sure he's fucking dead. But we'll see. We then cut back to the ogre, who is Baby Jesus' assistant, and he's like, oh, they won. I can now enjoy my jelly donut. And he looks over, and Baby Jesus goes, and he just eats it in front of him. And he's like, sir, why? And Baby Jesus is like, cause fuck you, that's why. Baby Jesus is a dick. The fucking ogre assistant won it fair and square, chat. That was mean. That point, Chad, that cements. I don't like Baby Jesus anymore. I don't like him, Chad. He's not my Lord and Savior, I tell you what. Eventually, we then cut back to Mr. Spuds, who owes a lot of money, Chad. He owes a lot of money to Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren's sitting there all fucking smug at this point. Mr. Spuds is like, "Oh my God, Jesus Christ! I didn't think this would happen." But thankfully, Mr. Spuds is like, "Well, I still know the Toguro brothers. They are the strongest people in the world, and they could easily beat these fucking teenagers, okay? And so, despite losing all this money, because at this point, the other guys, they've lost like maybe a couple billion, whatever. They've been betting 200, 500 million. But the other guy, Kylo Ren, he's been making bets like, he at this point, He's made like a profit of $60 billion. Like, he's doing really well for himself, like $50 or $60 billion. And he's like, shit, well, I can still make it all back if, once the Toguro brothers get him. And he's like, all right, everybody. So this comes the big final fight. It's going to be between the Toguro brothers, you see right here, the older and younger, and these fucking 3 teenagers. What's everyone's bets going to be at this point? The guys are like, you know what? We're kind of just done. We lost a lot. We watched a couple billion, today, so we want to keep betting. But then we go all the way down to Kylo Ren, and Kylo Ren's like, I bet $66,200,000,000,000. Everyone's like, $66 trillion. And Mr. Spuds is like, what? He's like, yeah, 66 billion. And they're like, that's like more than the GDP of Japan. And he's like, yeah, I know, but that's your wealth, isn't it? Don't you have $66,200,000,000, in your coffers? And all the other guys are like, Yeah, he fucking does. That's his wealth. And he's like, so do you want to put it on the line? That's what I think. You already owe me $60 billion. Let's make it $66 trillion. Why not? And Mr. Spuds is like, this emo-looking motherfucker thinks that he can take all my goddamn money. You think you can take all my fucking money? And he's like, you know what? You know what, Kylo Ren? I take that bet. Let's fucking do it. Let's do it. Yeah, $66,200,000,000. You bet on the teenagers. Is that what we do? He's like, yeah, I bet on the teenagers. He's like, and I bet on the fucking Toguru brothers. Yeah, let's fucking go. And he said he gets a little eternal monologue. He's like, why the fuck is this guy betting so much money? What does he know? But thankfully, Mr. Spuds knows that the Toguru brothers are unnaturally fucking weird and powerful. So it's like, all right, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, chap. After that, also Mr. Spuds, he's after, the conversation, he then calls his butler over, his assistant over, and he says, I want that broad else, okay? If anything bad happens to the compound fellas, I need to make sure that honey over there, she's still crying and making jewels for me, all right? Because we learned, chat, the reason why they capture her is because every time she cries, her tears literally turn into like pearls and diamonds and rubies and sapphires and shit. Cool. So you always have instant wealth. And that's why they captured her. And he's like, make sure my helicopter's running all that. And he's like, yeah, yes, sir. Very well, sir. Eventually cut back to the game, and Kuwabara senses something. He realizes that they're now moving Yukina/Elsa. And he's like, wait, guys, I'm going to contact her using my spirit telepathy. And they're like, okay. And Kuwabara's like, Yukina, my love, I'm coming for you. And she's like, who the, jeez? She's like, wow, who is this? And he's like, it's me, Kuwabara. My red pinky string of love and truth is coming for you right now. We are connected. I'm with my friend Yusuke Urameshi and Botan, the Grim Reaper. We will stop. We defeated the triads of demons, and we're coming for you. And she's like, leave me alone. And he's like, no. No, and he like fucking falls on the ground and shit. And Yusuke's like, is your Skype call going well? He's like, shut up, Urameshi. And he's like, listen, we've already defeated them. We're coming for you. She's like, no. I'm with the most powerful demons here, okay? You don't stand a chance against them. He's like, I don't sense any demons. Listen, I know that you're really upset right now, but it's okay. We're going to come save you, all right? She's like, okay. And so they continue running, Chad. They continue tracking her, and then they enter into this dark room, and the doors go boom, and they shut behind them, and then all of these giant auditorium lights come on, Chad, and we see that we're inside of a giant fucking arena here. And who do we see at the other end of the arena? The Toguru brothers, Chad, older and younger. And, fucking Yusuke and Kuwabara are like, who the hell is this guy? What's going on here? And Mr. Spuds is like, welcome, you meddling fucking kids. Welcome to your doom. And that, my friends, is my scene by scene breakdown, chat, to Yu Yu Hakusho episode 24. This very problematic and dated episode of Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah, everything, that whole stuff in the beginning, I'm like, yeah, this is dated. Yep. But that portion was cool, setting up with the Toguru brothers and everything. But I hope you enjoyed it. King Brian, welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a very nice evening. Witness me. Xbar Gaming, thank you so much for the raid. Everybody on the dance floor, raid. Thank you, Xbar. I hope you're having a nice night. What was on your docket? Thank you. I took a nap and heard the trap scene and said, what the fuck? Yeah, man. Yeah, welcome to your doom. Indeed. After this will do that to most heroes. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens. I get it. People were ignorant back in the day. But I'm still enjoying the show, chat. How many episodes do I got left, Glee? Is this the final episode, or is the next one the penultimate episode? I'm trying to remember. Help me recollect. Because this was episode 24. Well, I mean, yeah. I guess, yeah. I mean, I've watched shonen anime before. Maybe they've always edited that stuff out in the American versions. Luke the Boss, Baby Jesus has to die for sins when he goes up. I would have had to too. I mean, God damn it. Baby Jesus should have done that. He made a fucking deal with his ogre assistant, and he ate the donut right in front of him. Little shit. Plays Destiny 2 of Clemmer is nice. Penultimate episode, and then one more. Very cool, chat. Very, very cool. All right, this is the third to last episode, and then we got the penultimate, and then one after that. Nice.